Morning all. It's Kat with Peaceful Unity. Um New to the Clap app, which maybe I shouldn't call it that, but yeah. New here, and I think I already actually said that, but sometimes it's hard to remember what we've said without just rewatching some of our videos. Yeah. Excuse me. I'm trying to figure out if Clapper has a mental health community. Because that's what I'm trying to find, trying to build if it doesn't have a positive mental health community. I have a number of mental health issues. Autism, though undiagnosed, it's pretty strongly believed that I'm autistic, due to the fact that, well, we have an autistic child and grandchild. And no one else in the family presents in the same way except for me, so we're assuming that I'm the one that my child and grandchild got the autism from, since it's genetic. And they have been diagnosed, so we have ADHD, combined ADHD, so if we weren't on medication for it at the moment, yeah, we would be as scattered as a squirrel along cracks. So, not saying we aren't that way anyway on a semi-regular basis, but the medication actually helps us to pull our focus in a little bit. For those who aren't aware, we also have DID, which used to be called multiple personality disorder. And yes, there are a lot of us up here. We don't know the full number, but we have met over 50. We literally, I stopped counting at 50, but I still get new names and introductions on a regular basis, so I am assuming that makes us a polyfragmented system, because those are the systems that have the higher numbers. So my DID specialist does also kind of agree with that, so I'd assume that makes it more legitimate. Yes, I am diagnosed. Did I say that already? Sorry, we tend to be a little more blendy in the mornings. Trying to figure out what we should say. Trying to find or build a mental health community, support, education. That's primarily what we do for videos, is we document our system and try to help and educate people and let people know that they're not alone if they have these disorders, and that, yeah, it's a struggle, but that doesn't mean every second of the day we have to be depressed or upset or confused. Not saying we aren't on a regular basis, but it doesn't have to be. We've been in therapy for the DID now for just under a year, although we've been in trauma therapy for almost 5 years now. And it was actually our trauma therapist who suspected that we had something more than just trauma going on, although DID is a trauma response. It is something that happens to some brains in a response to trauma to try and keep the body safe and survive. It is a survival mechanism. We're open to answering questions as best we can, as we've only been in our first year of DID therapy, so, we only know so much. We have our good days, and we have our really bad days, and we have our bad days. But we are working really hard towards gaining stability. There have been some things recently in our life that has disrupted that, namely my husband's health. He wound up going to the hospital in February for unspecified seizures. So now we're dealing with the aftermath of that. So there's been a lot of stress. What else? Sorry, sometimes we listen inside. We listen to what others are saying inside our head, because we're starting to learn how to communicate with each other, which is nice. But it's still a struggle at times. So, but yeah, trying to figure out if Clapper has a mental health community. We're still trying to figure out and learn this app, and it is different enough from the clock app that we're having trouble with it, and the fact that we're autistic, among other things, does not make that any easier. We have no idea how long of a limit on videos there is, if there is a limit on video times. We do tend to ramble, so our videos tend to be a little longer than most. Yeah, if you're curious, ask us questions, and we'll do our best to answer. Take care.